often should an advisor check in with you? How to evaluate where my investments have been and if I'm adequate in an adequate company who is working for me. So I think they're just basically, is this advisor really working for me? How do I know that?
Yeah, am I getting my money's worth with this advisor?
Yeah,
is really
I think
what
that's
the
what they're
question
trying
boils
to get.
down to.
What you think?
So I don't use an investment advisor, so I don't really have any personal advice or tips here. I would say, I mean, if it were me, I feel comfortable just receiving a report and I don't need a check-in. But I think, just like I say, you should look at rebalancing your portfolio once a year. That's probably an adequate time to do a check-in with your advisor once a year. What do you think?
Well, I know a lot of the really affluent ones, usually they'll go meet with them once a year, make an appointment, sit down and see where they're all at. I think even Dave Ramsey has mentioned that on his podcast, his radio show, that he meets once a year with his people. Yeah. But of course, he has foundations and he's got a lot more going on. So, there's no way he can keep track of what's going on with his finances. He bought his own office building, built it. He's that's a whole different thing. But most people will meet at least once a year if you are paying for that. Like Amanda, I don't have an advisor. I don't feel I'm doing fine with what I'm doing now. And we really get into we take charge of our own investments. Don't you agree with that, Amanda? We understand what we're doing, and there's no reason to change that.
I did read an article the other day that the super wealthy are actually starting to rebel against all these wealth management companies because they're sick and tired of how expensive they are.
And when you get wealthy, that 1%, 2%, 4% is a bigger chunk. Mm-hmm. And these wealth companies do rely on the bigger accounts. Like Fisher Investments, you see those ads on TV. Towards the end, they say, if you have $500,000 or more, we're willing to talk to you. I bet you are for $500,000.
Yeah.
So, they just want the big accounts. If you have 20, 40,000, you're not helping them at all.
Right.
That's just not who they're looking for. So.